was the 1992 Final Four, which was played in the old Metrodome in Minneapolis. My role for CBS was I ran the set. I was the associate producer on the pregame show. The Fab Five, University of Michigan, are going to take on the Duke Blue Devils with Bobby Hurley, Christian Laettner, Grant Hill. The Fab Five became this incredible phenomenon in college basketball. They didn't start as a whole unit where they started all five freshmen together until I believe it was early February. And then it just snowballed. Fab Five this, Fab Five that. They were incredible. In the NCAA tournament, they ran into an Ohio State team led by a current colleague, Jim Jackson. Ohio State had steamrolled them twice, but not this time.
The Fab Five is headed to the Final Four.
So Michigan's on a roll. They're playing in the Final Four. They get to the championship game, and they're going to play Duke. The thing that I remember most about that game is something that happened at halftime. Friday before the national semifinals, CBS Sports did a sit-down interview with Pat O'Brien and the Fab Five, and we did it up in their locker room. And I remember going to their locker room and walking with Pat and saying, wow, this thing is so far away from the court. As far as I can remember, it's the first time that the locker room area was that far away. Halftime's coming to a conclusion, and most teams come down. We're 4 or 5 minutes on the clock. They're warming up. Clock's counting down, and I get on my headset, and I said to the producer, Eric Mann, I said, Eric, Michigan's not out here. And all I could think about was that long walk to the locker room. Finally, Michigan comes out. I don't even remember if they had a chance to warm up or if they took just a couple of layups or what. Picture that. You're gonna jump into the game full speed and you're not loose. You didn't work up a sweat. We start the second half, and all of a sudden, Duke comes to life. Christian Laettner gets hot.
Laettner, three-pointer, his second of the half.
And before you know it, final score, Duke 71, Michigan 51. For years it bothered me. Why did Michigan not come down? Why were they so late? I really felt that the fact that they didn't warm up to start the second half was a big contributor as to why Duke just steamrolled them at the start of the second half.
Now for Hill. Oh, Mike Krzyzewski is...
Michigan had them down. I think it was 31-30. Think about that. They only scored 20 points in the second half. Michigan only scored 20 points in the second half. Every now and then over the next few years I would think about it. And as I said, it was something that always bothered me, not so much the distance coming out, but why didn't they come out?
Michigan was very late coming out here,
Jim,
Billy, for the second half.
There are only about 40 seconds of warm-up time for Michigan. I looked at the referees. They said they have never been in a situation where neither team was on the floor when they came back out.
If they warmed up, they might have still got blown out. You know, Duke was that good, but you're talking about a Fab Five team that had 3 very good pro players on it, in Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, and Juwan Howard. Michigan was loaded. Fast forward to this year. Juwan Howard gets hired as the head coach at Michigan.
Now let's fast forward 25 years later. I'm back.
And I'm at media day, and I get Juwan aside, and I said, after we sit down and talk at media day, I need to ask you a question, something that's been bothering me since 1992. And he looks at me kind of funny. I said, it's not bad. I just really got to find out. So we do our interview. Afterwards, we step outside the door. He goes, what's the question? I said, Juwan, you guys were up at halftime, but you didn't come out to warm up for the second half. You were late. Why were you guys late? And I'm thinking it's the walk. And he looks at me and goes, Steve, we were watching film. I could see the look in his eye as I was asking him. We were watching film. And I could not believe it, that the Fab Five were stuck upstairs watching film, did not come down in time to warm up, and in my mind, that contributed to Duke's fast start and Michigan losing the national title game. One of those little things that you never forget, and thankfully Juwan Howard finally gave me my answer after 28 years.